This is the Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Bruschi and continuing coverage of the case against Bryan Kohberger.
Yeah, well, we all know what happened in this case. Bryan Kohberger has admitted to guilt, or he is pleading guilty, however you want to say it. It's interesting online. You hear people saying, well, just because he's pleading guilty doesn't mean he's guilty. I don't understand the logic of the Kohbergers. I never will, other than it's a mental illness. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm not going to get caught up in a conversation about that today. But what does matter is the statements and the feelings and the emotions and the trauma that the families of these victims are now going through. Because prosecutor Bill Thompson, Santa, he's extended basically an olive branch, I guess. I get it. I get the idea of let's not risk it on a jury where, I mean, we've seen other cases where things are pretty damning and the jury's still like, yeah. And that, I think, is the sad reality of our country right now, is we can't really rely on our system, our jurors, because quite honestly, there's a lot of dumb people out there. That
Tony just went there.
Yeah, that can't handle facts and can't think about things in any sort of decisive or critical thinking way more than one thought at a time. It's like, oh, that's two thoughts. You got to think. But it's scary. It's sad, but we are where we are. And I'm not talking about any specific case. I just feel like we are in a place where you hear people's explanations of why they think the way they do, and you go, wow, you are misguided. Yeah. Wow, you are off on your facts. And it is what it is. So, and again, I'm not talking about any specific case here. But I was a little bit concerned, quite honestly, about Bill Thompson, Santa, being out there and being the face of this and being the prosecutor. I mean, against Ann Taylor. Ann Taylor's pretty solid, and she just pulled off a win. I was concerned. I mean, the little bit I've heard of him, of Bill, in interviews and such, he seems like a lovely man, probably makes a really good pancake, and knows where to get the best maple syrup in the area, and doesn't have a lot of experience prosecuting murderers because they just don't have a lot of them right there. And it's not his fault. He's a small town DA. So not exactly who I would feel super confident in pulling this off, even though there's a lot of evidence. So in one way, I'm happy that this is where it landed, because it guarantees he's going away. There's no chance that an idiot juror, or there's going to be somebody in here who's a Kohberger that's going to hang the jury, and they have to go through this again. And even if he was found guilty and death is there, and you're talking 30, 40 years of just court and every sort of appeal imaginable. And basically till the death of the parents. Because Kohberger's young, he's going to live it up. And look, the parents and all that, they're our ages. Like, you know, you got a good 40 years left maybe. And he's got more. And I think you'd be seeing that path until they're dead. I hate that they were not able to take this into court, though, because exposing Kohberger, putting him and exposing everything that he did for these families, or to these families, and to these kids, and to these people's daughters and son. I can't imagine. I mean, if I were, as an outsider, thinking big picture, it's a good thing. If I were Steve Goncalves, I'd be freaking the F out and be trying to find a way into that prison to kill him myself.
And that's a big concern. That family is furious right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot that the family didn't get by this not going to trial.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any idea why he did this. I wish he had been required to say what happened.
Well,
Why
we
did
do
he
know
do
what
this?
we do know. Kohberger's team reached out. It was not the state going, "Hey, you want a plea deal so we don't have to do this?" Kohberger's team came to them and said, "What can you offer us?" And that happened right after the judge shut down the third-party suspect and right after the judge shut down the stay. So we do know that much. And they agreed to it. They didn't have to agree to it. They could have said, "Nope, we're going to trial." But I agree with Brian Anton on this. He said this on his Twitter yesterday of, it appears Idaho really wasn't interested in taking on this case to begin with. And there's a lot of reasons for that. They tore down the house, which was idiotic. And they're freaking the F out left and right about anybody talking about this thing, about any evidence coming out. The gag order was insane on this case.
Yeah, it was.
It was like, we don't want to deal with this. This is messy. Let's try and get on, without the care or consideration for these families. And I think that's absolute shit. And at the end of the day here, look, I know we were very harsh on the police early on in this. Those are the ones who did a great job. They knew what they were doing. They figured it out. It's the judicial system that failed these families.
You think, really?
Yeah. The judicial system should have at least had a conversation. Sending this out in a Sunday night email PDF going, "By the way, no trial.
Well.
Sorry. Hey, I heard Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman is on tonight. Why don't you check that out right after Touched by an Angel on CBS?"
Yeah, and I agree wholeheartedly with that. That's not how that should have been done. They should have brought them in. Like, we need to speak to the families. Please come in. This is important. We need to talk to you. Instead of a fucking email that, how many of them didn't get it right away? Because you don't check your email on a Sunday night.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, the news starts getting out and you may not have checked your email and you're hearing it through News Nation.
Right.
And it's like, what is going on here? I think it was so sloppy and so disrespectful to those families.
So, yeah, I agree with you in that. I'm sorry that I saw that the wrong way. But, yeah, they've completely let them down. And I'd like to know the rationale. Why did you do it that way? These family members have been through hell.
I don't know.
Why? Yeah. Why couldn't you have a little more compassion and empathy for what they've been through and do this differently?
Yeah.
An email? Who made that decision?
I don't know if they're sitting there thinking they're going to be really excited about this. It's like getting a gift for somebody, or like getting a gift like for like a teenager or something,
or getting your wife a vacuum for Christmas,
or you're getting your wife. But look, if she asks for a vacuum, she's getting a effing vacuum.
Oh, if she asked for it, absolutely.
I've done that before. And, well, it was
okay
asked
if
for.
She wants it.
It was on the list. I'm like, sure, here you go.
That's okay. That's acceptable. Yeah. But if that's the gift you're getting, then
no.
We need to talk.
I don't know. I don't. My gut is there wasn't a lot of thinking. I think it was they were excited. They have a finality to this. We got to get this out to them right away. Well, pick up the phone and call them. I mean, I know they've been talking on and off a little bit, but as Steve Goncalves says, it was just a very short phone call about this situation. Let's take a look at some of the reporting from Ashley Banfield in News Nation just the other night. This is her interview with Steve Goncalves, and let's
But I wanted you
take
to
a
have
look
your
here.
say. I wanted you to be able to say out loud for everyone to hear what this means to you and your family.
This is anything but justice. This is the opposite of our will. There was no majority believing that this was acceptable. I want to honor all the police officers, the FBI, and all the people that work their tail off. The failure is at the court level, 100%. but the men and the boots on the ground and the women that were out there working, I want to honor everything that they did for our children. 100%. The fault is in leadership and the people that you place this evidence upon. They were weak. They decided to play God and decide what this man's decision should be, and not a jury, not a peers, not his peers. They, so that's where we are today.
Walk me through what happened. Brian Enton, did some really great reporting at the top of this show here, but tell me from your perspective how the last 3 days have played out.
I would say ever since Hitler has demanded an independent investigation, they couldn't get away from this case fast enough. They've done everything to make this case go away. So I don't know what that entails, but he said he was going to have an independent investigator, and all of a sudden we seemed like we were on rails to get rid of this case and make a plea deal. I mean, he's guilty. We all know he's guilty. There's more than enough evidence, but it's tough. It's tough to put a community through this, and it could be bad for reputations and business identities, and there's fallout. But this isn't the will of the victims. This is just one person making a decision, and it doesn't reflect what we were asking for.
Steve, did anybody ever call you from the prosecutor's office to just personally discuss this with you? Did anybody offer to meet with you in person to go over this potential plan?
We have meetings all the time on, particularly a lot of times on Friday. No. We had this regular meeting that we have to try basically do an update of what's going on, where things are at, because Idaho is actually an amazing state where it really does care about people. We just get one or two, people who just don't care about the victims and don't care about justice. And it's easy to take the weight out. It's easy to make an excuse and say, I'm doing this for the victims, even though I've never interviewed the victims. I've never really talked to them to find out what their true feelings are. So here we are. We're stuck, and we can't get out of it. I ask your audience if anybody knows Judge Hitler, reach out to him and ask him to put his foot down and not accept this offer. It doesn't reflect anything in Idaho. This is not justice. We had an outsider come to our community, kill our kids in their sleep while they're getting a college education, doing everything that they should do, and we don't have the courage to hold him accountable. No plea deal. Let's go for this guy. 100%. Let's do it. And that's how this family stands.
Steve, I know that, it's no secret your daughter Kaylee was so close with Maddie Mogen, best of friends. And I know that you got to know the Mogen family as well. Have you spoken with the Mogen family, and do you know what their reaction is to this plea decision?
We actually just had a meeting with the prosecution and just tore into it and made it clear that we were not in support of this, but we also invited other families into that, and I'll let them speak on their own that were part of that meeting, but we are in no way alone on this. Multiple families believe the same as we do, but I want to honor their abilities to speak independently and as their child. So I don't want to cross that line, but all I will say is there was no majority for this decision at all. And if they're not working for us, they're working against us, guys.
That's Steve Goncalves talking with Ashley Banfield on News Nation with his reaction to all of this.
God.
It is still, look, as of our recording right now, is it Tuesday? Is today Tuesday? What is today? Tuesday?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's hard.
yes. It's the July
long week.
1st. Hitler could still say no. It would be a long shot. That does not happen very often, but it's not this never happens. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times the courts typically do side with the family's wishes. Not everybody is in agreement on this, though. The initial statement from the Goncalves family says, "It's true. We are beyond furious at the state of Idaho. They have failed us. Please give us some time. This was very unexpected. We appreciate all of your love and support. Heartbroken," and then some hashtags as well. Family of Idaho. Let's see here. They released another statement clarifying the timeline of the negotiations, saying that they gave prosecutors a hard no when asked about a possible plea deal on Friday. The family said they received that email Sunday night, and that sent them into, quote, panic mode, and met with the prosecutors again Monday to oppose the agreement. "We fought harder than anyone could ever imagine," the Goncalves wrote. "We fought a long battle, but we lost the war." That was their statement there. Shocking and cruel, also, some of the words that were used. The Latah County Prosecutor's Office treatment of our family during this process is something I wouldn't wish on anyone. The family added that it was no shock how the Latah County Prosecutor's Office mishandled the plea deal. They vaguely mentioned a possible plea on Friday without seeking our input and presented the plea on Sunday. Latah County should be ashamed of its prosecutor's office. 4 wonderful young people lost their lives, yet the victims' families were treated as opponents from the outset. We weren't even called about the plea. We received an email with a letter attached. That's how Latah County's prosecutor's office treats murder victims' families. Adding insult to injury, they're rushing the plea, giving families just 1 day to coordinate and appear at the courthouse for a plea on July 2nd. After more than 2 years, this is how it concludes, with a secretive deal and a hurried effort to close the case without any input from the victims' families on the plea's details. The letter concludes. A plea deal is, like I said, it is set to go down tomorrow, and then likely sentencing later in August is what, or later rather in July, I'm sorry, late July is what it would probably look like for a sentencing.
Wow. Were you just shocked when this came through?
I was upstairs. I was cooking dinner. Robin Dreek, our contributor, retired FBI special agent, texted me, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I texted. That was literally my text right back to him. And then I ran down here, and then we put a special report together. But yeah, that was not on my bingo card for this week.
No, gosh, no. We're still waiting for Diddy at the time of this recording.
Karen Reed just wrapped up Diddy's on jury watch, and this came down.
Yeah, like wait, what? When you sent me a text, and I went,
yeah,
no, he means Diddy.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I know. It was, yeah.
I don't ever second guess you, but I actually logged on the internet because I'm like, I wonder if spell check changed this, because there's no way this is Kohberger. This is Diddy. Diddy accepted a plea deal and pleaded guilty. That's what I was thinking. Like, no, Tony's confused.
Nope.
Sorry. I just didn't see this coming because, like I said, we were waiting on Diddy, and nope. Here comes Kohberger.
Yeah. No, I was shocked. I mean, it's always been something we've wondered about. It's something we've questioned, we've talked about. I mean, this really stunned everyone, I think, in the legal community and everywhere. Like, you're doing what?
Yeah, can you imagine those low-level conversations?
I'm torn on it. Like I said at the beginning, I see both ends. Like, one's like we're guaranteeing this shit, it's done.
Yeah.
The other is, wouldn't it be nice to take a swing at this piece of shit, or at least, watch the court do it? It's like, no, we're just not bringing the piñata out. We're just going to keep it in the cell forever. Like, give them a stick. Give them a spear. Give them a flaming stick. Give them Negan's bat from The Walking Dead.
Oh, dude.
I say Steve Goncalves, Bryan Kohberger, in a padded room, 30 seconds. Steve gets the bat. See what happens. Pay-per-view, Sunday night. Be there.
Well, here's the thing. They're going to have to keep him in solitary or away from Gen Pop because he ain't going to make it. Right? I mean, isn't that how things go in prison? He's got a mark on his freaking back.
Let's take a look at the poll that I put out just before we went on the air. How long until Kohberger is removed from the planet through prison justice? 24% right now says before New Year's. 2026, 16%. 2027, 32%. And never has 28%. So 2027 is where it's leading right now with 32% of the vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping for before New Year's. I think that'd be a lovely Christmas present to the families.
Yeah, he did get sentenced to basically death because I can't see that he's going to survive prison. I can't see it. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm being really horrible.
I don't know. I hope they take him out in prison. I pray. I do. I pray that they take him out in prison.
I get it.
There's no purpose. Just let him, get rid of him. He's a mutant. Aubrie
But before he goes, I need to know why he did this.
Does it matter?
What was your rationale?
There is no rationale. He's insane.
I know he's insane, but I want to know what in his mind, I want to hear the process. How did you decide where you're going to do this? Why did you do this? What was I mean, even if it's just the most horrible thing in the world, I just wanted to see what it felt like. Let's get in there and figure out what happened.
Because he wanted to be this guy. He's getting his dream. He's getting his wish. I think, honestly, the original dream, this is my conjecture on it, was to pull this off, never get caught, and teach about it. And be the guy that's like, oh my God, this was like the perfect crime. Look about it. Because that would give him some sort of like, oh wow, finally people are recognizing his genius because he thinks he is one, even though he's a idiot. I mean, he's just a self-centered, narcissistic. And I'm not saying autism as a negative thing here, but I do believe it plays in his thinking. And I don't think that was a card that was going to help him either. Right. And it's like, yeah, that just kind of pushes you more into the category of possibly you don't process other people's feelings. I know everybody's like, well, that's not it. Like, look, I get it. Okay. I'm part of the club, so I'll speak on it that way. But it's different for everybody. It's a spectrum, but he's on that area of the spectrum with zero empathy. He's even admitted to it. He's talked about it in great detail. He recognized it. I think it was that. I think he wanted to get away with this. I think he wanted Catherine Ramsland to eventually be teaching about him. I think he wanted to become a professor and teach about his own crime and silently get all the adoration while nobody knows any better. Obviously, that didn't work out so well. But now he gets to be basically an infamous killer in prison like Ted Bundy or Ed Kemper or anybody from Mindhunter. He's now in that level of infamous evil sociopath. And he's going to live it up. He's going to love it. He's going to do interviews. He's going to probably try and write a book. And he doesn't even... And sure, none of it is going to make any profit on. You can't do it. That's against the law. But could he do it and like put it out? Yes. And all those proceeds could go to the families. I don't think he gives a shit about the money. It's more so he wants to be looked at. He wants to be admired for something. And because there was absolutely nothing in his life that he was actually talented at or good at, he found it. And he failed at that too. So now he's going to go down for being infamous. And he thought he could pull off this whole ruse just the couple weeks ago, trying to blame 4 other innocent human beings for this crime that he knew damn well that he committed.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit. I mean, I can't wait for finding a broomstick that goes through his ass and out his mouth. I would love to see that as the headline. Amazing broomstick. Amazing broomstick murder in prison.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer.
No one's seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
And I'm not encouraging anyone to do that, but I will tell you what, you'll get a lot of money in your canteen. A lot of people would be out there going, who the fuck is that? Well, let me fill that shit up.
Right?
It wouldn't be just me going, how can I contribute? He would be rich with canteen money for the rest of their life. Whoever decides to take the broomstick and have a little fun with Mr. Kohberger. Again, not saying anyone should do it. I don't recommend it. I don't endorse it. I don't encourage it. I'm just saying if it happens, cause and effect, that's what would take place.
Yeah.
I feel I'm very much understand. I don't understand. I can't imagine what it's like for Steve Goncalves, but I agree with him. If I were in his shoes, fuck. They better, when he does plead, and especially when they do the sentencing, they better have somebody watching Steve Goncalves.
Yeah. And I don't blame him at all. At all.
I hope he gets a 3D printer and prints a plastic gun and gets it into court.
Tony. Tony.
I do. I wouldn't blame him. I'm a dad. I'm a girl dad.
I know you are.
And so,
I understand, but we have to let justice,
that is
as
justice.
flawed as it is.
That is justice.
I know.
Aubrie Goncalves' sister, her statement, the statement here is from the constant delays to the relocation of proceedings, making it harder for loved ones to attend. The justice system has placed heavy burdens on those already carrying unimaginable grief, though through it all, we have tried to hold on to hope. Family, that was some of her statement. Not everybody is in agreement here, though. There are some families, there are some family members here who have expressed a different opinion. The Mogen family, Ben Mogen, he made this statement: if you get that quick death sentence, you don't have to spend decades thinking about how terrible you made the world. We can actually put this behind us and not have these future dates and future things that we don't want to have to be at, that we shouldn't have to be at, that have nothing that have to do with this terrible person. We get to just think about the rest of our lives and have to try to figure out how to do it without Maddie and the rest of the kids. So, I mean, it's a very personal thing for everybody and how they look at this. Xana Kernodle, Xana Kernodle's aunt told TMZ the defense approached prosecutors with a plea deal, and the prosecution wanted to spare the families, quote unquote, the pain of going to trial and seeing crime scene photos. We know the graphics. They were not trying to spare us, Kernodle said, noting at least two victims. Hers and the Goncalves family wanted Kohberger to face a jury. Idaho has failed. That was that statement there. So it's Chapin family. I was unable to find any specific. This is. I don't know that they've made a statement yet, honestly. What do we got here?
Yeah, I don't see one for them. I'm looking it up.
Here's some of the excerpts from the letter to the family. The resolution is our sincere attempt to seek justice for your family. This agreement ensures that the defendant will be convicted, will spend the rest of his life in prison, and will not be able to put you and the other families through the uncertainty of decades of post-conviction appeals. Your viewpoints weighed heavily in our decision-making process, and we hope that you may come to appreciate why we believe this resolution is in the best interest of justice. If you'd like to sign up for our email list. No.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I can't find anything.
I think a phone call might have been appropriate. So, what's happening? Type of hearing that we're going to be seeing on Wednesday, July 2nd, is a change of plea hearing. What that basically means is exactly that. He's going to be changing his plea from guilty to not guilty, or from not guilty to guilty. Remember, he stood silent
Right.
at the first one.
He didn't even really make his
So
plea.
is he going to do a mime show this time? Like,
Maybe.
Can't get out of the box. You're going in the box now.
Interpretive dance, possibly.
That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Interpretive dance. And then for the finale, Steve Goncalves comes out with the Negan bat.
You are fixated, my friend.
I hate this piece of shit. I mean,
I know you do.
I hate this piece of shit. He encompasses just, he reminds me of so many people. Of so many men or boys that I've encountered in my life that have such a fucked up hate for women, and they hold it in. It's that incel thing, you know, and incel is a newer term, but essentially there's men that have had this feeling forever that are, you know, basically socially incompetent and can't take accountability for their own shortcomings and try to improve. They just rather sulk in the sorrow and have everybody feel bad for them and blame it on women. And there's a lot of guys out there like that. That's why there's a whole community. That's why the incel thing even exists. They just used to, you know, be sad and live in their mother's basement, and eventually you find them hanging from the rafters. And the world was a better place. Now they have community.
They do. And it's really sad that they can't. I'm going to climb on my soapbox here. I'm 4'9". Give me a second.
Stand on that speaker.
I'm going to.
Which you used to do in the studio.
Yeah, I used to have to stand on a speaker to get up
to reach the mic and the board.
Well, because we had radio studios, they can have either like a lower desk or like a standing desk. Yeah. So anything that's standing, like one of those standing tables, like at a bar, I'm not standing. I'm on the bar stool, but whatever. My soapbox is this: there is nothing sexier than a man that loves a strong woman. I mean, if you want a key inside of the way to score with women is to absolutely have the utmost respect for a strong woman and not walk in front of them, but walk beside them and let them be strong, let them be them, but be there for when they aren't strong. Yeah. Because we're all like that, but don't be threatened by it. And when you see somebody like a Bryan Kohberger, a strong woman obviously intimidates the living shit out of him. Yeah. And it's tragic to watch because we all have these people in our lives that are threatened by a strong, powerful, forceful, but yet kind, gentle soul that happens to be a woman. They automatically think, well, I can overpower her and I'm going to. Well, you can physically. That's how both of those bodies are made. A man is most often technically stronger than a woman, but that doesn't make you better than us. Why can't we be equal? So you're a little bit stronger, but I'm a little bit more this way in other avenues. And together we make the perfect thing. We are a conglomeration of this perfect entity together. I mean, if that's what you're into, and I'm not disparaging any couples that are, you know, same sex. Sure. I'm just saying male and female together can complement one another. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a threat to you. It just doesn't have to.
I want to know what the hell happened in his childhood. I mean, yes. I think a lot of this, honestly, is just, I think this is nature. I think he was born this way. I think his family struggled through all of his upbringing going, I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. Like,
hey, I'll tell you, I've talked about my veterinary career. I wasn't a veterinarian. I was a veterinary nurse. We had some dogs come in that we tried to work with them. They were vicious. They would just go off the rails for no apparent reason. Like, we don't know what triggered them, but they attacked a child. They attacked this person. They attacked the cat. They killed the cat. And it's like, we tried to do everything. We tried medication. We tried training. Some creatures are just born flawed. Yeah. And in that case, we would euthanize them. And as tragic as that is, like a 2-year-old dog, you're euthanizing a healthy 2-year-old dog, but it's dangerous. It wasn't wired correctly. And humans are that way too. Yeah. I'm not saying we should be euthanizing humans, but I know you are. But this is how we have a way to make a living, is because there are humans who are not wired right. Yeah. And we have channels that feature them all the time.
Yeah. I mean, and really, I mean, if you look at the more humanistic side to it, which is certainly there. I'm just amped up because I hate this piece of shit.
I know
and
you
I
do,
feel
and I'm
horrible
amped up
for
for
the
other
Goncalves
reasons.
family.
So
Yeah,
thank you for letting me on my soapbox.
Yeah, There's just no saving some people like this. They're going to be chaos. They're going to destroy people's lives if they're allowed to just continue. And obviously he went to quite an extreme. But say he didn't kill, say he just lived. I mean, this guy was, he was on a path to just destroy. I mean, in probably inadvertently as well, because the way his brain is firing, he's not seeing anything wrong with it because it's so normal, because this is just how it fires. He may know socially that's not acceptable, but whatever is in him somehow drove him to go do this. And in that moment in time, his brain was telling him this is the right thing to do. Can you imagine? I mean, do you snap out of that? If you snap out of that high, adrenaline moment, or you're like, what the hell? Like, is it like being possessed? Or is this just all the time? You're like, are you looking at it as, well, they had it coming because they were attractive young women who I could not have? That is essentially what it comes down to with a POS like this. It's, I can't have them. I'm going to be mad at them. I'm not going to look inside and go, maybe I could do something better. I mean, people look at this guy and go, he's attractive. If he just learned how to socially function, he could get a ton of women. He could have been good. He could have been a decent human being. And he could have found happiness, but he obsessed himself into this hole. And it sounds like his family did try to get him help and such too, but he wasn't receptive to it. Just like you said at the vet, sometimes no matter what you do, they're not fixable. And Kohberger's one of them. He's not fixable. He just spent 3 years torturing these families after he killed their kids.
Yeah.
Pretending it was somebody else and he likes to go look at stars. And somehow we're all supposed to go, oh, that's viable. Yeah. Let him rot. I don't think he should be able to do anything in prison. I don't think he should be given a pen or a paper or anything. I don't think he should have put him in the box. Here's what they should do. Remember how they tortured Richard Allen? Let's put him in the box. Let's put Kohberger in the box and never let him out. Just wait till he dies.
And I don't think that's going to happen.
Give him some bread.
They should send him to Delphi, Indiana.
Yeah. Go hang out. Yeah. But I can guarantee Kohberger has gotten far better treatment than Richard Allen ever did. And he didn't fucking kill anybody.
I mean, have you seen that suit that he's wearing? Yeah, he's gotten great treatment. I mean, he's like at Men's Warehouse or some shit.
Men's Warehouse isn't that fancy.
Well, I've never been to Idaho. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You never been
I don't know what they have there.
Men's Warehouse? Maybe that's all they have. It's just a Men's Warehouse. It's just a Men's Warehouse in Moscow. That's all it is. It's a Men's Warehouse and a college.
Maybe. And a Chick-fil-A.
And a Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is there?
I don't know. It's pretty
Feels
far
like
north.
It would be there.
I don't know. I don't know how north Chick-fil-A goes. It's probably everywhere now. But
no, honey, we've got one where I am.
You got one now. Yeah, it's probably in Canada.
I think it's going to open soon, and it's going to be utter chaos because the people in the town that I live in are enamored with horrible fast food.
And it shows. The average weight of the Wisconsinite in Wausau is...
Yeah, it's not good. We are not a healthy bunch.
But there's great cheese curds. I will tell you that.
Oh, shit. I had one today.
I ordered some the other day with whatever the hell I got. And it was like, we have a Culver's here now, too, which is nice because it's a Wisconsin-based chain. I remember going there as a child.
And they do their cheese curds properly.
They're good. They're good. Okay. Well, now that we're talking about cheese curds, there's pot roast at Culver's? At
Culver's. You should look and see if it's on your menu. It is in Wisconsin.
You can get, there's like fish fry. I know they have that. I remember my grandparents used to go there after church on Saturday nights to go get fish. And it's good.
Yeah, but their pot roast is outstanding.
Look at this. This is the weirdest like endorsement, and it's not even paid for Culver's
No,
in the
this is
middle
not
of
at
talking
all.
about executing someone.
I know.
And creative ways of doing it since the government failed us. Culver's, enjoy the butter burgers.
They
Who
are
bought
good.
the
I haven't had one in,
advertising
like,
on this
5 years.
show? We didn't, sir. They just started talking about it.
Yeah, it just took off, man.
Natural. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's the latest.
We should get a sponsor, come to think of it.
We have 1,000 sponsors. I just don't know who they are because it's inserted.
They're random.
We don't hear them. So everybody's like, ads. I don't hear the ads. They're automatically inserted into our show.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
But we should have a sponsor. We really
We
should.
do. Well, we do some. I mean, there's real ghost stories. We have more sponsors over there where I directly endorse. We actually don't do that on this show. We do straight up the ones we don't hear. So.
I think we should be sponsored by BetterHelp because I think after listening to some of these cases,
They've sponsored the show before. They've been on this show before.
Good, good.
In fact, I've done endorsements for them on this show back when I did endorsements on this show. But I don't do endorsements on this show anymore. We just do the straight up the other ones. But
cool. But yeah, I mental health is a beautiful thing. Go get yourself some therapy. Yeah. It's after listening to these cases, sometimes it opens your eyes to what is out in our universe, what is out in the world. When you step outside your home, or maybe it's in your home. Shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a scary world. So equip yourself. I'm not doing an ad for them, but I'm just saying, you know.
No, I mean, it is more available than ever before. Mm-hmm. There's really not an excuse. If you need help, get it. There's no shame in it.
Cost can be a factor.
Yeah, I mean, anything your family has said, or anything your friends have said. Like, we don't need. I don't need that. That's for this. Screw it. No, everyone needs it. Even when you're healthy and great, it's good. There's nothing wrong with getting help. Mm-hmm. The world would be a much better place if everyone was in therapy. Again, it's not an endorsement, but hey, there you go.
Well, we endorse it personally.
Yeah. So there you go. Of course, we're going to keep following this. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. There's a lot more to come on this in the coming days. So buckle up because the Kohberger case is what is of the trial, which doesn't exist anymore, is about to start right now. And it's going to wrap up very fast. Unless the judge throws us a curveball. But we shall see.
Craving non-stop true crime updates? Press subscribe now and get the latest cases, analysis, and expert commentary delivered straight to your feed, only from the Hidden Killers podcast and True Crime Today.